My name is Kristian Ruggieri. I was the producer on The Magic Man.
I'm Tom Krymkowski, and I was the cinematographer on The Magic Man.
Thanks. And I'm DC Kasundra. I was the writer-director on The Magic Man, which is a 3D silent film. It's a 10-minute silent film that's 1920s-style black and white silent film from the golden era. And it's about a magician who brings this ballerina out of a painting, and then she turns out to be evil and traps him in the painting. But it's really a story about like love and loss and how ambition can sort of lead someone astray to make mistakes that jeopardize the things that are really important to them. Yes, as a misanthrope, I basically decided to make the worst movie possible. So I thought this would basically alienate everybody in the world. So no, I actually, in a way, I wanted to make a 3D silent film to kind of unite these two eras. It was like the golden era filmmaking, which was really awesome, and they made these cool stories. And then there was kind of this resurgence of 3D that's been happening, and I thought it would have been kind of cool, like if people made 3D films all the time in the 1920s, like what would they have been like? You know, back when they weren't busy doing like the eye gags or something, you know, like they might have done something cool. Like what would Guillermo del Toro do or Tim Burton do if they were making, you know, 3D movies in the 20s? So it's kind of where the concept came about. And
yes, we did. But what I did before, and actually we all did in research before making the film, is we spent a lot of time getting up to speed on what the look and the feel was of those films. And what was really amazing by going through that process is we saw this evolution of these really raw films that got sophisticated really fast within just a short number of years. I mean, the difference between a Cabinet of Dr. Caligari and a Metropolis are huge, and yet the time period that all happened in was significantly short. So we had that as a basis, and that's what I was always seeing as we were going through the process of shooting. We shot digital, and then but we did shoot at an 18 frames per second frame rate, so we could quickly right on set see that effect, see that feel. And even though, I mean, I don't want to get too technical, but even though you would have shot at one frame rate and projected at the same rate and it would have looked normal, we felt it was a shorthand for getting people into that feel, because now when we see old footage, we tend to see it projected at the wrong speed.
yeah, we kind of been having to do like a compromise where we knew we wanted to do a 1920 style film, but we felt like we couldn't use all of the tricks of 1920s or that kind of authenticity, because we were going to do 3D, and we were afraid if we do film grain, you know, in the 3D plane, where does the film grain lie? Does it lie at screen depth? Is it the closest thing to this, you know, to the viewer? And so because of that, we said, okay, even though we're going for like a 1920s film, we're going to have to lose the film grain. That's just not going to work for this kind of film. And even like dropping frames, like usually, you know, even when you get a Metropolis or something, you know, they try to do the best of restored footage, but there's still some frames that are going to be missing, so you'll see that kind of jump, and we weren't really able to do that too much. We did a little bit to kind of get the feel, but in 3D, when things jump in space, it really disorients the viewers, so we had to make some compromises on the feel. But we tried to go with, like, you know, keeping the camera locked down, not doing too many movements, definitely not doing anything that's sort of a modern camera move. I think it was a starting point.
To my job, the main thing was making sure that we could always coordinate the two cameras. We shot with two cameras, which meant always getting schedules of two people together. We shot in front of green screen, which was actually curtains, so there's a lot of steaming wrinkles out of green curtains. Other than that, it was mostly making sure that we had the wardrobe for the look, and then the locations and the crew and those kind of things were typical to any short. I think the nice thing for us is that our film is so different. We've got an immediate talking point for people. Our film is black and white, it's in 3D, and it's a lot different than the other films that are out there, so that makes it easier for us to get noticed.
Yeah, it's been kind of a weird run because this is our 9th screening, and there was always the worry, like, will film festivals reject us because they don't want to do a 3D screening? What other complications are there? So there have definitely been some film festivals that say, we want to screen your film, but we're not sure we can do 3D, so we kind of talked them through the process. So Palm Springs, we did their first 3D film, and then I think this might be the first 3D film at Slamdance, I'm not sure. But we had to talk them through there and go, okay, here's the kind of projection you'll have to have, and then we can supply the glasses and everything. And then half the film festivals just said, we just want to show the 2D version of the film. We like the story, but we don't really want to go for the 3D aspect of it. So it hasn't hindered us as much as I was worried about. But it is a challenge when they do it. It's like we do have to explain to them, you need to have a great, you need to have a theater quality projector. You do need a minimum screen size. You are going to want to screen our Blu-ray and not like a Betacam or a DVD. So once you get past those logistics, it becomes a little bit easier. But then we do have to supply up front, the glasses and the promotional materials. So that adds to the cost for us as filmmakers. Yeah, getting into Slamdance, it being one of the more prestigious film festivals, was actually a very big surprise to us. I think we'd submitted it and we're hoping for the best, but this is definitely our first trip to Park City, and I was pretty surprised. And this is actually the first film I've ever entered into the film festival circuit, so I'm pretty happy with it. It's really quite an honor to be up here, even in all this massive snowstorm that we are having, which from us from San Francisco, this is like really foreign weather to us. And I grew up in Texas, so it's like I have no exposure to this kind of stuff. But it's pretty awesome, and it's I feel really honored to have other filmmakers, because the thing about Slamdance is that it's filmmakers programming other filmmakers, and so when a group of filmmakers say, we really liked your project and we want to show your work, I think that's kind of a cool honor to have.
The short answer is yes and no. We're in a transition right now. There's definitely been periods in the history of the city where there's sort of been these like big bubbles of groups that have come together and collectively made films, and then it's gone away. And it's kind of been with the ebb and flow of the economy and support for those kind of films. I think right now we're at a point where we are starting to get another build up. We're still a little young, a little raw, but that also means that we're taking some chances, and we're also starting to find each other. We're not as we're spread out throughout the whole Bay Area, and we're forming organizations that are getting us together. We're doing the networking that needs to happen. The city finally, and specifically the city of San Francisco, but I also know the other cities in the Bay Area are doing it too, are starting to they want more filmmaking happening, and not just at the high end. They're starting to support some more of the local taste and flavor of the city, and so I would say that yes, it's vibrant, and we are we're really doing some cool stuff. I'm really excited. I can't wait to see what more comes out of the city, and both myself personally as a cinematographer, but then also for all of the other filmmakers and all of their stories. And we take chances and we show stuff that I would argue you can't see other places, and it's really exciting. I'm really happy to be there at this time.
Yeah, I think to kind of get the word about our film out has been a challenge for me, because this is the first film I've really entered in the festival circuit, so this is all kind of new for me. And we've done the Facebook page, and that's kind of given us a little bit of success, and we try to talk and network with as many filmmakers as we can at the festivals we've gone to. But it is a challenge. I mean, we're sort of like learning about this sort of new area of distribution, and we're trying to find, are there people trying to distribute shorts? We've talked to a couple of distributors that seem like they might be interested. We felt like there would be this huge opportunity for 3D shorts as all the 3D televisions are coming out. We thought, there's going to be a real demand for 3D content, and that hasn't really panned out yet, and that's been kind of a bummer. So we're still looking around, and we're kind of trying to feel out, what this marketplace is turning into. It's really evolving. So you can, to find more information about The Magic Man, you can look us up on Facebook. It's facebook.com/themagicmanfilm is the best site to kind of get the latest that's happening. And then there's also themagicmanfilm.com, which I just updated last night. So it's got the latest information.